Northern Uganda was the forgotten humanitarian disaster of really the beginning of the 21st century, and it had been going on for a long time. Nearly 1.4 million people, that's at 85% of the population in Northern Uganda, over the last 5 or 6 years had gathered into what were called internally displaced camps because of the fighting from the rebel group Joseph Kony's Lord's Resistance Army and the Ugandan army.
The fact is, there were so many young girls in northern Uganda who were abducted by the Lord's Resistance Army. In the course of their time away from their communities and families, they survived numerous violations.
Yeah, before I came to Padre Girls Academy, I was abducted. I got pregnant because I was forced to get married to a man, and I got pregnant at the age of 15. I stayed in the bush with the rebels for over 1.5 years. Then I managed to escape from the bush.
After the conflict, of course, where are they to go? They were stigmatized by their own communities because they were often seen as wives of rebels or as somehow sympathetic to the LRA, and reintegration back into their communities was quite difficult for many of them. And then many of them had become pregnant or had children while in captivity.
Early pregnancy among young girls outside marriage, it has been so much associated with kind of outcasts in the community, no respect, they are discriminated. A girl with a child is never accepted in any government setting school. And in fact, when you are pregnant from school, you are suspended, actually dismissed from school. Therefore, you are denied access to education, you are denied your right to education.
Well, the center's work and my own work began in northern Uganda in March of 2005 when I was asked by Peter Buchart, who heads the Emergency Division of Human Rights Watch, if I would join him on a mission to northern Uganda. So I had one trip to a center in Padere, one of the reception centers, and was very impressed by a woman I met there, the name of Alice Achan. If you ever get to see Alice, Alice is very tall, and I was struck by that, and struck by her determination as she took me into the tent and we sat down, and I asked her, well, what's, in the long term, what's going to happen? What do you want to see happen? And she said that she wanted to, at some time, to establish a school, particularly for young women who were given as sex slaves within the Lord's Resistance Army and had children and would have any opportunities. And she wanted to create, she didn't call it at the time the Padere Girls Academy, but that was her dream. And it began by taking 70 young women with their children and housing them very basically in this academy and this school, which they were building from scratch, and set up a bakery, they set up a restaurant, they set up a sort of bed and breakfast. The girls go to school. This is essentially their secondary education. They go to school, their children also go to school, and they then graduate and they can go on and work in vocations. They're trained to be seamstresses if they want to go in vocational training, or if they want to go on to higher education. There are scholarships that are being established to help the women move forward. And it's helping the most vulnerable of the vulnerable. And it started with dirt floors and a few buildings. Eventually more funding came in and it grew until today. There are hundreds of young women going to the school with their children.
I know and I strongly believe that this school can be replicated. And already this school is serving beyond actually sub-region. We have children who are coming from Soroti, that is eastern part. We have some children who are from central that have struggled all along to come and study because they know they can be accepted here with their babies.
The school is really a testament to what can happen when we listen to what the needs being vocalized by folks are and find ways to help them achieve that goal. The girls who really went to hell and back in the course of their abduction, the fact that they can go to the academy and get an education and be safe, enjoy their bodily integrity for the first time in a very long time, and have their children cared for if they have children, and then see some brightness in the future. I mean, that's just, it sounds corny, but that's a big deal. That is a really big deal.